Hi everyone, it's Protibha here again today, and I'm going to ask you to pause the video right now and go grab yourself a raisin or a grape or a piece of fruit. We're going to be doing a mindful eating exercise. This is a great exercise that you could even practice with your kids. So take a pause and start the video when you get back. Welcome back. The point of this exercise is to show that, we practice mindfulness throughout moments in our life, but we don't always know that we're practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness doesn't have to be anything complex. It doesn't always have to be sitting in meditation. So what I'd like you to do is try to cultivate a mind of curiosity, a beginner's mind, which means you've never seen a raisin or grape or whatever you're using, piece of chocolate, as if you've never seen it before. This lets you be more curious and more interested. And so why don't we begin? So I want you to pick up whatever little piece of fruit it is. And we're going to engage all our senses, starting with the sense of seeing. So I want you to hold it in your hand, the raisin, the grape, the chocolate, roll it around, maybe in your fingers, and really have a look at it. Notice the color, maybe noticing some texture, the way the light shines on it, as if, wow, I've never seen a grape or a raisin before. This is really a curious thing. This might sound kind of funny, but now let's use our hearing. If you shake it, is there something to hear? Listening very carefully. Probably not. Now, touching it to the lips, but don't put it into the mouth, sorry. Feeling now, starting to feel the texture of this item. If it's chocolate, you might notice that it's getting softer. Just for a few seconds, and then carefully placing the raisin or the grape in your mouth, but don't bite. What I want you to do is use your tongue, if it's possible, to roll it around, or just to feel the surface of the raisin, really paying attention. Is it hard? Is it soft? Is it slippery? Maybe you're also noticing now that there's an urge to want to bite down, an urge to eat it. So being mindful also of that urge, but not necessarily giving into the urge. Is there a taste involved? Before biting it, is there a faint taste? I can taste a little bit of the raisin. And now, slowly, mindfully, taking one bite down on the object. And now noticing if the texture changes, if it feels different against the tongue, if it tastes different. Now go ahead and start chewing it, really paying attention to the textures and the flavors that are in your mouth, noticing maybe the saliva starting to flow, but don't swallow. Okay, now swallow. So that's a mindful eating exercise where we've engaged. First of all, we've slowed down. So you can make any activity somewhat mindful by slowing down, minimizing any distractions so that you're able to be fully, as much as possible, fully engaged, fully present. It's very easy to use one or all of the senses the way we just did. If you want to just use seeing, for example, when you're out walking, you could just simply keep noticing and paying attention to what is coming into the eyes. Or hearing, maybe you'll hear cars going by or birds in the trees or just the sound of the wind. And what it does is by paying attention to these senses, it brings you into the present moment, right? You can't taste something that occurred an hour ago. Well, you might be able to taste it if it's still in your mouth, but it's still the taste of what is presently in the mouth. And what you're doing is beginning to pay attention with a lot of curiosity. And as you start meditating and practicing mindfulness and starting to become mindful of things like thoughts and emotions, you always want to have that non-judgmental attitude, because if you start judging, you're going to be lost in thought. The judging then becomes what your mind is up to. If you want to add an extra layer, a little bit more advanced as you're going through this exercise, is pay attention, if you can, to how you feel. So when we talk about emotion and feelings, we use those interchangeably. Feelings are actually also the felt sense. So as you're eating, if you notice that urge to want to bite down, maybe noticing the sense that, like, the curiosity could feel open. You might notice it in the chest, you might notice it in the belly, in the mouth. We feel our emotions in the body. For example, if you're feeling anxious, right? Yes, there's anxiety because you start having thoughts, but you also start feeling the anxiety in the body, tightness in the chest, maybe a fluttering or a vibration. And sometimes it's easier to stay with the sense as opposed to being hijacked by why you're feeling anxious, why you're feeling stressed. That's just an extra little tidbit. Something I teach during my course. We do talk about using mindfulness with things like anxiety and stress. So how could you extend this to other activities? Simply by following what I said. Slow down the activity. Really pay attention using all your senses. And the mind is actually considered to be one of the senses in mindfulness practice. Paying attention with curiosity, humor, beginner's mind, being interested, being open to being surprised. And if you're able to, just noticing periodically how you're feeling in the body as you go through the mindful exercise. So if you could practice mindfulness while showering. That's a great way to practice. Doing the dishes, cooking, gardening. There's multiple ways. If you want to practice with your children, an eating exercise like this to pique their curiosity and let them start to experience what mindfulness feels like can be great. Or you could also teach them mini mindfulness moments. These are also moments that you can use yourself as a way to just take a pause and be present and then go about with your day. So the 3 techniques I'm going to talk about, and this one's really great for kids, is there's the 5-finger meditation, and just ask them to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and breathe out. And as they're doing that, they're paying attention to the sensation of the breath. Very easy. You can see it only takes about 10 seconds. And it just allows the body and the emotions to settle. It also brings them back into the present moment. Another one is the 3 Ps, which is super simple. The first P is simply in the middle of whatever activity you're doing. You can even tie it to a particular activity that you do multiple times during the day, such as, for example, picking up your phone to check email, or for children, maybe every time they get into the car. just before, they would pause. It might be better if they do this getting out of the car. They take a pause, take a breath in that pause. They feel into the body. Notice if there's any stories or emotions happening, not to try to solve them or change them, just noticing. And then you proceed with whatever it is, getting out of the car or checking your email. And then the last one I can offer is probably the shortest sort of mindful mini break that you can do. And this one, again, is really great for kids, is getting them to stop walking. If they're walking, just stand still, stamp one foot, stamp the other foot, take one breath, feel into the right foot or left foot, whichever one you want to start with, feeling the sensations in that foot, and then feeling the sensations in the other foot, and then you carry on. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and have a great day. Take care.